pre-construction costs, to your allowances within that contract, and whether or not you make changes. If you do these things, you can save money, and when you save money, you have money left over for those awesome splurges. Things you never even knew you wanted. You didn't know that they were out there, and once you do, you're ruined for them. I saw the toilet of my dreams. Who would ever say that? A $10,000 toilet. This thing washes your butt.
Is the cleansing one.
Dries your butt, heats your butt, knows when your butt is near, and knows when your butt goes away. It lights up at night softly for you, waiting patiently. Oh, and did I mention it cleans itself? 10 grand doesn't sound like a whole lot, does it? I'm gonna find that money in my budget. In this video, I'm gonna show you my secrets to staying on budget, or at least staying close to what you hope to be your budget. When it comes to budgets, there's always a little gray area when you can find room for creativity, or you can find room for splurges. And right now, we're gonna find room in the budget. The first thing you wanna look at is your pre-construction costs. And whether you're building a new house, or you're remodeling a kitchen, or you're renovating a room, there are costs associated with before you start to work. Now, if you're building a new house, there's gonna be costs like, right here, there's gonna be costs like a survey, contractors, materials, permits, maybe water testing, local government fees, lawyer fees, bank fees. So all of those things need to be budgeted for. So they're not surprises. We don't want them to come out of the contingency for building. There's also your rent in a temporary place to stay, maybe storage of your furniture, relocation fees. There's all of those other things you need to think about. Now, if you're just renovating, which I say that lightly, just renovating, if you're just renovating, there's still going to be costs associated with it. Think about when you start a project and you go to Home Depot and you go to Home Depot again and you go to the tile place and the grout place and the tape place and you need the plastic. So all of those costs add up. Preparation for a site, demolition, garbage removal, whatever it may be, figure it in so that it's not a surprise later on and we have money for that toilet. When it comes to pre-construction costs, there's usually stuff that's going to be local to you. Like, I lived in a cooperative, so we had to buy more shares when we made an addition. You may need to buy extra permits for your building or pay for elevators to be wrapped or whatever it may be, something that's local to your area. And for that, you can ask your architect, your contractor, your neighbors who built, the nosy guy down the street, whoever it may be, what costs may pop up. When we built, we had to upgrade our water line. It was a stupid, nonsensical thing that we hadn't thought of. It was also $2,500. So you want to have an idea if there's going to be these little surprises that are going to chip away at my toilet. The second trick to staying on budget is to pay attention to the allowances or what's in your contract with your contractor. They're usually going to tell you what kind of materials to use. Now, the contractor's bid, a lot of times I hear people say, oh, we went over budget. But really, if you read the fine print, you would know that you didn't go over budget. You just made different choices than what was outlined. Because most bids, like here's mine, in it, it states exactly what's going to be covered and what's not going to be covered. What types of doors, what types of hardware, all those kinds of things are specific in the bid. Now, if you're doing a smaller remodel, your contractor is going to say whether they pay for materials, what labor is. It should be itemized so that you can see what's the cost of tile he's giving you. Because if you choose something that's $20 a square foot versus the $5 he gave you an allowance for, you're going to have a discrepancy and you're going to be over budget. Remember the toilet. We have a goal here. In most contractor bids, there's going to be what's called allowances. And that's where they're going to give you an amount based on, hopefully, an educated guess about what you're going to choose. And then you have to stay within that number to stay on budget. So you want to check the allowances and make sure that they're realistic. So if you get an allowance for an entire house, new windows, and it's 10 grand, usually that's not going to cut it. You want to make sure you know what things cost and you can compare it to what the amount they give you. Also, you want to know what kinds of windows. So if you want a specialty window with mullions and impact glass, that's going to cost a whole lot more than, say, your Anderson 400 series standard double hung window. You know what I mean? You want to know what kind of material you're going to choose because it's going to greatly affect whether or not you can stay on that budget. That may not be the budget you've got set. Like whenever I get a bid from a contractor, I'm looking at the labor and the costs and I'm taking out the allowances. And once you take out the allowances and I can have them in a spreadsheet, I can know this is what they gave me, this is what I got it for, this is what I saved, or this is what I spent. And every dollar saved can get flushed down that toilet. This isn't something that a contractor does to trick you. It's because they don't know what you're going to choose. So it's giving you hopefully a ballpark number. And if you give them exact materials, exact specifications, the exact sink, faucet, all of that you want, then it's going to be an accurate bid. For instance, if I take a look at my old contract, which I did, so there's a section in here where it talks about plumbing. Supply and install, the rough plumbing, blah, 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 heater, radiant heat, warm boards, which was specific to me. I made sure that particular brand was called out. Hot water tank, blah, 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 blah. Install all owner-supplied fixtures, install all owner-supplied appliances. So that's where you need to pay attention because that means every sink, toilet, bathtub, tiles, washing machine is not included. And you need to include that in your budget. We are so close to getting that toilet because I feel savings all around me. So the more decisions, the more materials, the more choices that you've made before they demo anything, the better your chance to save, to stay on budget, to stay on schedule, and to get that toilet. Last but not least, and this is a biggie, I bitch about this all the time, proper pre-planning prevents piss-poor performance, or so the nuns told me. If you plan out and you change your mind, it's gonna cost you. The National Builders Association estimates between 4 and 17% of your budget could be spent on changes. That's when you change your mind last minute, when you move something, when you hold other tradespeople up because they can't do this till that's done. It costs money, 4 to 17%. Let me put that in real numbers, real things that I can understand. On the low end, that's $12,500. And on the high end, it could be $75,000 or more. That's spent on mistakes or changes or not thinking about this at the time when you should have been thinking about it. $12,500, that's your dream closet. That's a steam infrared sauna. That's a hot tub. That is all kinds of crazy that you just flush down the toilet. So don't change your mind, and when you do, change it early. So plan ahead, shop smart, make decisions, and do not change your mind. The fear of a better option is a real thing, but it will take from your budget. So stick with what you love, stick with what you chose. If there's a change that needs to be made, make it quickly, make it clear to everyone so that they know what's going on, and hope for the best, because we need every nickel. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Proper pre-planning prevents piss-poor performance.